Welcome to the Golden Com podcast. I'm Danielle, Senior Project Manager here at Golden Com, and today I'm sitting down with CJ. Welcome, CJ.
Thank you for having me.
Today we are talking about an incredible case study of Treat Mental Health, an organization that we have been running meta ads for. So to get us started and kick things off, why don't you just tell me about Treat Mental Health?
So Treat Mental Health is an online mental health service that you can go ahead and you can go get your therapy if you need to. They service multiple different states. They're in network with multiple different insurances. And yeah, they came to us basically asking, can we go ahead and help them get some more admits to, like I said, their virtual therapy.
And so in their case, an admit is like a sale, let's say.
Sure, yeah.
But in a nonprofit sense.
It's not necessarily in a nonprofit sense. They do operate within insurances. So they can go ahead and you can go ahead and get your services through insurance. But yes, like you said, an admit is essentially someone going ahead and signing up for their services.
Got it. Okay. So why did we choose meta ads? Did we try Google first? Was it working? Was it not working?
So Google, specifically within mental health, rehabilitation, whatever that might be, is notoriously expensive. We've seen that with multiple different clients. Cost per clicks can range anywhere from $50 to $200 per click. And so with this, we want to go ahead and take a look at some of the other platforms. And obviously, the next biggest one up on the list is Meta, is Facebook. So we went ahead, we set up a brand new Meta campaign for them. We have seen some good success for this in the past. And with this new campaign that we set up, we've been seeing some really, really, positive numbers, some really encouraging numbers for Facebook, for Meta, for instant forms, for all of this really just set up here.
So how quickly did you see those results and that return on the investment? Because we always use that 90-day rule as got to let it run for 90 days and then see how it's doing. So how quickly were things working in meta ads for Treat Mental Health?
So one really cool thing with Facebook ads is that once you go ahead and you set up your audience, it goes in, it automatically starts serving out to those prospects. So once we started running the ads, we started to see leads come in pretty much the same day. Now, of course, there is a little bit of a learning curve for these ads for the or how Facebook wants to go ahead and serve these ads. We didn't get, 100% good quality leads right off the gate. That's where we typically say that's where that 90-day learning period typically comes in from. We can go ahead, we can continue to refine the audience, we can refine the targeting there. But like I said, we started seeing ads right out of the gates once the sales team and admissions team really bought in with the system that we have set up. We started seeing a lot of admits start coming in. I think we have on our case study that we saw 6 admits come in within the first 60 days, which is really, really positive, really encouraging. And we continue to see that with this campaign still running, even more admits continuously coming in every single day.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know even since this case study was done and published, you've continued to report that those rates are still increasing, admissions rates, but also cost per lead, cost per admit are all going down. So let's talk about cost a little bit more, because that was a big driver of moving from Google to Meta and really just trying to solve the challenge of Google is too expensive. What do we do? When we were looking at mental health space, healthcare space, addiction recovery, all kind of similarly grouped industries, we were seeing things like, I think up to $12,000 can be the cost per admit, which if your service isn't even that much, it can be detrimental. You can be just hemorrhaging money instead of bringing it in. So what we saw instead is on these results, 78% lower than that is the cost per acquisition for meta ads. So talk to me a little bit more about how that cost is being brought down, the good numbers that you are seeing on Meta for Treat Mental Health.
So with I alluded to it earlier, but if we go ahead and compare Google with Facebook, Google's cost per clicks, just for a single click on your ad, can range anywhere from $50 to $200. What we're seeing right now on Meta is we're seeing about a $10, anywhere from $10 to $25 cost per lead. So these aren't just people clicking on the actual ad. These are people filling in their information, voluntarily giving our sales team, our admissions team, their information to go ahead and come back and call them, and really just giving our admissions team the best possible chance for success. So with all of that and us continuously just driving a good amount of leads coming in, like I said, for $10, $15, $25 per lead, putting our admissions team in a really good position. They're just going ahead, they're closing these leads. They're continuously going through, they're closing these leads, and we're starting to see really good success coming in out of here.
And moving from paid search to paid social means a change in every part of the strategy, right? It changes who you're targeting, how you're targeting them. Instead of someone searching for this and wanting to hit them with an ad, now you're almost going out and fishing yourself based on those demographics. Then there's the creative and the messaging that's being served in these ads, and then also the workflow behind the scenes of what the admissions team is doing. So tell me just a little bit more about how that strategy shift played out for Treat Mental Health from each little piece of it.
So when we first took over the account, there was a couple things that we wanted to make sure that we had really dialed in. The first thing being the personas. Who is it that we want to go about targeting? What specific states are they located in? How do they respond to particular messaging? What is it that they're interested in? Things along those lines. And once we had a really solid grasp in terms of who it is that we're talking to, that's when we started to take a look at what types of creative we wanted to go about doing. So with that, we landed on having some form of video content really be our main driver of our ads, really. Typically question answer saying, when did you know that it was time to get help? Or something along those lines. Really talking to, who it is that we're advertising to. Letting them know, hey, you're not alone. Go ahead, reach out for help. It's one of the best things that you can possibly do. And that combination between the two of really defining who our audience is and making sure that we're communicating to them in such a way that they really react to, we started to see really good success. We started to see really good numbers based off of all of that. And then, of course, once we actually started getting these leads in, we wanted to make sure that we worked really closely with the admissions team to make sure that we are giving them the leads in the shortest amount of time possible. So whether that is setting up some form of API to go ahead and pull data, information, lead data, and email it on over to the admissions team as soon as a lead comes in so they can go ahead, get that notification on their phone and give them a call. That really was the turning point for when we started to see a lot more of these admissions start coming in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, CJ. This has been a very exciting project to hear about, and I feel even more excited about the other meta ads case studies that we're going to continue to run because we're seeing lots of success there. Yes. So looking forward to it. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned for more incredible case studies and great results that we're getting for our clients here at GoldenCom.